Okay, so here we're going to talk about our cestodes, and our cestodes are our tapeworms. So we'll talk a little bit about our beef tapeworm. We have our dwarf tapeworm. We have Diphyllobothrium latum, which is going to be the worm that's associated with not properly preparing sushi, fish. And all of them are going to be important. Some terms that we're going to use are proglottids as well as a scolex, which is the head. So cestodes are the tapeworms. They're flat, ribbon-like worms, and they have a scolex with suckers and hooks, and this is what it uses to attach to your intestinal wall. It has a long segmented body, which is called their proglottids. We'll see a picture in just a moment. They are hermaphrodites. The segments that are closest to the head are referred to as immature, and the segments of the proglottids that are more away from the head are referred to as gravid or filled with eggs. And so basically, the gravid proglottids break off and are shed in the feces, and the proglottids with their eggs are diagnostic. Now, we can have some that are going to be very large, such as 30 feet, and we have our beef tapeworm, Artenia. We also have our fish tapeworm, which is very large. Smaller tapeworms are going to be our dwarf tapeworm, dog tapeworm are pretty small. And typically these cestodes are going to have two hosts. You're going to have the primary host, which is where the adult worms live, and the secondary host, which has the larval forms, can kind of hang out and wait. So the secondary host is sort of an intermediate host. Human disease is mostly going to be associated with intestinal disease. Now, our latum is going to be related to our parasite being in sushi fish, because if you cook the fish, your parasite will die. They cannot survive cooking. But if you do not cook fish and you eat it raw, then the parasite can be transmitted. Freezing the fish at a very low temperature for 7 days will also kill this cestode. So Diphyllobothrium latum is going to be transmitted through humans eating undercooked fish with the larva present. So the fish is the intermediate host. And so basically you have the egg that is going to be diagnostic, but that gets released in the feces. And then the egg will mature and become a chorostadium, and then this is going to be ingested, this larva form is going to be ingested in the freshwater fish, and you're going to have development of the larva. It takes about 2 weeks, and then you eat the meat of the fish that's either undercooked or it's raw, and you ingest the larva. The scolex, the headpiece, will attach to your intestine, and then your adult will mature in the small intestine, and then you'll start to develop eggs. Now, the larva will develop into those adults, and the adults can be pretty long, 10 meters in length, and they're going to release eggs and pass it into the feces. This is the proglottid. It looks like these little sort of strips. And these are gravid because they have eggs, and so each of these will break off, and these will be diagnostic. Most people are going to be asymptomatic, but you can have abdominal pain, cramping, weight loss. Vitamin B12 deficiency with anemia is associated because, again, these are very large worms, and they will take up a lot of your nutrition. Diagnostic is proglottids or eggs in the feces, and then, of course, proper cooking of fish in regions or proper handling of sushi grade fish is important to prevent this.